come to that through rowing and steering. Let me tell you a few words, and then we do another exercise. The question within those multi-layers is rowing or steering. So from the perspective of the governments who are in charge of governance, so one of the definitions is to the systems and mechanisms and rules that are responsible for the governing process, as in managing structures and phenomena in society, pertaining to goods and services. This is a little picture that zooms in on dangerous goods and services, where market failure is easy to appreciate and understand and predict. And where we can easily agree on that these types of market failure, like exploding electricity equipment, toxic substances, fire, so house on fire, and all kinds of other inconvenience. The question is, how do we prevent it? And then let's move to the literature. And just to help you to appreciate that literature, the article of Mr. Edgar Grande cites a phrase describing current state as moving from the positive state to the regulatory state. And that comes with freer markets, so more market mechanism, more capitalism, but also more rules. That is already clear to you. And then Levi-Fauer, David, defines three orders of capitalism. And he uses these words rowing and steering. And let's look at that more closely. This is David. And he... Say it again?
No, we're
I want to know him too.
also to
I see. He introduces three orders of capitalism. A laissez-faire capitalism, a welfare capitalism, and a regulatory capitalism. And he connects those sort of descriptors to phases in the history of industrial or industrialized countries. And he uses the descriptor of steering and rowing to distinguish between the three stages. And my question to you would be to connect steering and rowing to those three stages on the basis of a sort of preliminary definition of steering and rowing as follows. Steering is that the state is organizing the conditions of production of goods and services. And rowing is that the state is producing goods and services. So the difference between steering and rowing is that it's a state perspective. It's the question, who is producing goods and services. And then the rowing is that the state produces goods and services. And the steering is that the state is only setting rules, conditions for the production of goods and services. And then, on the basis of your knowledge of this last year, I would like to ask you which order of capitalism is dealing with what way with steering and rowing. And those orders are the laissez-faire capitalism, the welfare capitalism, and the regulatory capitalism, which was the reading of last week and this week of his article. So I invite you to, and even if you did not read it yet, you have a sort of idea what is laissez-faire, what is welfare, what is a regulatory state. And then you can make a prediction per phase. What is the role division? Who is steering and who is rowing? So allow me to give you 2 minutes to make some notes. And then I will ask you to share those notes with your neighbor. And then I ask 3 little teams to report on them. So in which order of capitalism is what the steering and rowing division between the state and the market?